From opium to tourism, the story of the Golden Triangle. You're standing on territory that belongs to Thailand. However, from here, you can also see parts of Laos and Myanmar. It feels like the borders between these three Southeast Asian countries fade away at this meeting point. Welcome to the Golden Triangle. Beyond its scenic views and unique location, the Golden Triangle has a complex and dark history. Had it not been for the region's uneven land and thick forests, governments would have found it easier to reach and control the area. As a result, the Golden Triangle provided the ideal conditions for growing opium, an important ingredient in the drug heroin. For many years, the Golden Triangle was infamous for being at the center of the global opium trade. Farmers here planted opium poppies and used them to make drugs. Then, the drugs were sent to China or exported to the US and other countries. This led to the involvement of drug traders and other criminal organizations, making this area a hot spot for dangerous and illegal activities. It's thus no wonder that by the 1950s, the Golden Triangle had become the world's leading supplier of heroin.
Welcome to English for You. I'm Adam.
And I'm Elsie.
And today, everyone, we're taking you to a place where three countries meet in one fascinating location.
Oh, it's an area filled with history, mystery, and more than a few surprises.
You're sure right. From breathtaking views to a past that shaped the world in unexpected ways, this place has stories to tell.
So buckle up. This one might be a dangerous one.
You're right. We are about to uncover the secrets of the Golden Triangle today. Our article starts off by saying, you're standing on territory that belongs to Thailand. However, from here, you can also see parts of Laos and Myanmar. And there, everyone, we see the noun territory, which is an area of land that belongs to a country or group. An example sentence would be, the country made its territory bigger by signing an agreement with a neighboring country after peaceful talks.
Territory 这个名词呢是领土或是领地，所以呢课文一开头啊，他说你正站在属于泰国的领土上，然而从这里你也能看到辽国还有缅甸的部分地区。This means you are standing at the border of Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar.
That's right. And our article continues by saying, it feels like the borders between these three Southeast Asian countries fade away at this meeting point. Welcome to the Golden Triangle. There, everyone, we see the word border, which is a noun. It's the line that separates two countries across, or two countries or areas. An example would be the border between the US and Canada is very long. The next word we see, or the next phrase we see in that sentence is fade away, which is to slowly disappear. An example would be the music started to fade away as the concert ended.
好，我们整理一下咯。首先看到的名词 border 是国境，是边境。好，那如果呢特别指的是国界的话，那当然我们前面可以再加上一个形容词，就是 national。我们可以说 national border。那另外呢，如果是天然边界，比如说河流啦，比如说山脉来当做边界的话，天然边界的英文是 natural border。那另外当我们要说两地或是两国之间的边界，就用 the border between 后面加上两个位置，两个地方。那另外这个片语 fade away 是逐渐消失，所以说啊，在这个交汇点上面，这三个东南亚国家之间的边界仿佛消失了一般。欢迎大家来到金三角。
All right, so getting back to our article, it says, beyond its scenic views and unique location, the Golden Triangle has a complex and dark history.
Scenic 这个形容词是风景优美的，好，所以后面呢很常形容的就是这个名词 views。Scenic views 那就是优美的景色。所以啊，除了美丽的景色和独特的地理位置之外，金三角还有着复杂而黑暗的历史。
Wow, so by that last thing in the last sentence where it says a dark history, it makes me want to really dig deep into this place, into this area.
Me too.
Continuing, everyone, it said, had it not been for the region's uneven land and thick forests, governments would have found it easier to reach and control the area.
那在这个句子当中看到了我们今天的文法重点 Let's take a look. 在今天的 Language in Focus 当中我们要说到的是与过去事实相反的假设语气。那它的句型是呢 if 出来之后加上主词加上过去完成式，也就是 had 加上 VPP， 逗号之后主词出现再加上 might, could, would, should 4个助动词选一个，然后再接上 have 以及一个过去分词。这个句型使用在假设与过去事实相反的情况。if 带领的假设句呢，我们要使用过去完成式，主要子句则使用助动词加 have 以及一个过去分词。So for example, if Lisa had studied harder, she would have passed the exam and her parents would have been proud of her. 如果 Lisa 当时更用功读书，她就能够通过考试，她的父母也会为她感到骄傲。但是 Lisa 当时并没有更用功读书，所以她也没有通过考试，她的父母也没有为她感到骄傲。那这个句型呢，我们还可以把 had 移到 if 子句的句首，删掉 if， 然后形成倒装句型。所以刚刚的那个句子我们可以把它变成 Had Lisa studied harder? 逗号之后接 She could have passed the exam and her parents would have been proud of her. 那假设语气呢也可以混合使用哦，也就是说 if 子句是与过去事实条件相反，对不对？那主要子句你还可以用什么呢？与现在事实相反的结果。那我们可以说If we hadn't told Jay the truth, he would still believe that everything was fine. 如果我们当时没有告诉 Jay 真相，他还会相信这一切都是很好的。
So because of all this thick forest and uneven land, like we learned, the government would have found it easier to control it if it was, flat land, less forests. And getting back to our article, it says, as a result, the Golden Triangle provided the ideal conditions for growing opium, an important ingredient in the drug heroin. There we see the phrase, as a result. It's because of this, therefore. So an example using this phrase would be this. It rained all night. As a result, the soccer game was canceled. We also see the noun ingredient, which is a part of food or a mixture. An example using the word ingredient would be flour is an important ingredient in making bread.
还要整理一下，首先看到的 as a result 是因此，后方带出结果，所以前面是原因，后面是结果。然后呢 ingredient 这个名词是食品的成分或是原料。那另外我们还看到2个名词，一个是 opium， 它指的是鸦片，那还有呢 heroin 就是海洛因这个毒品。所以呢这边说到因此金三角提供了种植鸦片的理想条件，而鸦片就是海洛因这种毒品的重要成分哦。
Wow, so that's probably not a good place to go traveling while you're just backpacking through some of these countries, right?
Right, but it's so interesting, right?
It is. I mean, I know there's rivers throughout the Golden Triangle, and I know the forests are dense. And I mean, some people, you could maybe just get lost there and end up, walking upon one of these heroin fields or opium fields and not even know it. And then meet some kind of, bad drug lords, right?
You know what? We've been to Thailand how many times?
I'd say about four or five
Four or
times.
five times, but we've never been to the Golden Triangle.
No, we've never been there. We did go up north to Chiang Mai, which does get foresty up in the northern part of Thailand. But no, we never really have gone to that area. And I think, we've learned that it's you kind of hear stories about how bad it used to be.
And how dangerous it used to be, right? Probably it is still now.
Exactly. And our article says for many years, the Golden Triangle was infamous for being at the center of the global opium trade.
Infamous 这个形容词是恶名昭彰的或是声名狼藉的。好，那我们可以怎么样使用它呢？ be 动词出来之后，后方可以接上 infamous， 再来就是 for something 或是 for doing something， 那就是以点点点而恶名昭彰或是声名狼藉的。 So for example, he's infamous for cheating in games. 他以在游戏中作弊而恶名昭彰。那课文说到多年来金三角已成为全球鸦片贸易中心而声名狼藉。
Well, why did it become infamous? Well, it says farmers here planted opium poppies and used them to make drugs. Then the drugs were sent to China or exported to the U.S. and other countries. And there we see the verb export, which is to send goods to another country to sell. An example would be Brazil exports a lot of coffee to different parts of the world.
Export 这个动词就是出口或是输出，那被动很常见。好，我们可以在主词的地方放上商品，然后 be exported to something， 那就是它被输出、被出口到某个位置去、某个国家去。好，所以 to 后面的 something 这个名词，你要接的是一个地方，好，或是一个城市、一个国家。那相反，我们就把这个字首的 ex 改成 am import， 那就是进口。那我们刚刚还有看到的 opium poppy， 好，指的是罌粟花。这里的农民呢，种植鸦片罌粟，并用来制造毒品，然后这些毒品被送往中国啦，或是出口到美国以及其他的国家。
Right, and since these drugs were exported to the U.S. and other countries, our article says this led to the involvement of drug traders and other criminal organizations, making this area a hotspot for dangerous and illegal activities. And there, everyone, we see the noun involvement, which is the act of taking part in something. An example would be used, we could say, the police arrested him of his involvement in the bank robbery. Also, we see the adjective word criminal, which is related to crime or breaking the law. An example would be, the police are investigating his criminal activities.
我们首先看到的名词 involvement， 好，它代表的是参与或是摄入。那它的动词形式呢，你就把字尾的 ment 拿掉就好了，好，你就会看到 involve 这个动词。那另外呢 criminal 在课文当中是以形容词的形式出现，代表的是犯罪的或是犯法的。可以形容什么呢？后面可以放的名词有像是这边的 organizations， criminal organizations， 那就是犯罪集团。那如果你用来形容的是 records 记录的话， criminal records 就是犯罪记录。那另外呢 criminal 也可以当做一个名词使用，指的就是罪犯本身。那再来呢，我们还看到一个形容词是 illegal， 好，这个非法的。那字首 il 代表不点点点或是无点点点，用于呢以字母 L 开头的形容词和名词。所以我们说 legal 是合法的，那你在字首加上 il illegal 就是非法的。所以课文呢这边说到，这导致了毒品贩子还有其他犯罪组织的介入，使得这个地区呢成为危险和非法活动的 hotspot 热点。
Right, and since this area is a hot spot, like you said, for dangerous and illegal activities, our article continues to say, it's thus no wonder that by the 1950s, the Golden Triangle had become the world's leading supplier of heroin.
最后呢，课文说到因此到了1950年代，金三角就成为全球海洛因的主要供应地。这件事情其实也就不足为奇了。
So interesting about this, since it's, kind of three countries all into one little area where bad things are going on. A dark history like we learned in the first sentence.
Yeah, and just like what I said, it has mystery, history, and, interesting things mixed together.
Exactly. And that actually kind of brings us to our For You Chat question. Since there was a lot of products like drugs being exported out of this area, this Golden Triangle, it says, what products do you think Taiwan could export to the entire world? Which countries would buy the most of these products?
Of course, Taiwan could export high-quality semiconductor chips.
Ding, ding, ding. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, the countries that would buy the most are the United States.
I would say so, yeah.
And Trump is not happy about it, right?
Yeah. He wants to put tariffs on. Yeah.
Maybe Japan and Germany, because they need them for their technology and car industries,
Yeah,
I guess.
They're really big in the car industries for these chips. For me, I think Taiwan could export bubble milk tea or bubble tea ingredients like tapioca pearls and tea leaves. And the countries that I think would buy the most of them would be the US, the UK, South Korea, maybe Japan, because bubble tea is very popular at all those places, I think.
Wow, so from semiconductor chips all the way to, bubble tea ingredients, Taiwan has a lot to offer.
That's right.
那听完今天的节目还学得不够尽兴吗？欢迎到空中家教和老师练习哦。
For English for You, I'm Adam.
And I'm Elsie.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Territory. The island became part of the country's territory after an important agreement between the two governments. Border. Helen stopped her car at the border. The officers let her into the country after they asked her some questions. Ingredient. I have all the ingredients to make a chocolate cake. Let's mix them together and start baking. Export. A lot of Taiwan's produce, such as rice and tea, is exported to other countries around the world. Involvement. Mark's involvement in school activities helped him make new friends and develop leadership skills. Criminal. Arthur and Tom were sent to prison after they got caught doing criminal activities.
智慧小补帖
Scenic. Opium. Heroin. Infamous.